Grand Canyon Travel News. My name is Stoney and I'm with Miranda.
Hey!
We are professional local guides here. We can't wait to share all this information to you. I can't wait to share with Corlin.
Hey, it's great to be with you today and pretty excited to see where we can go here with Grand Canyon Travel Weekly.
Well, Carlin, I can't believe you decided to take 28 days on the river. That's something I've been wanting to do so bad. I've done a 4-dayer, and I can't wait to hear some of your experience. Is that exciting, Miranda?
Oh, so exciting. 28 days immersed in nature and the water and the canyon walls. Like that, I just can only imagine how amazing and how much work it took to prepare for that.
What was the first thing like you felt when you were doing that, like getting ready?
Well, it's interesting. I was invited to go on this trip and I had 4 hours to decide.
Oh my God.
And the biggest challenge was that it's 28 days. And I'm like, oh my gosh, 28 days. That's a long time. So I had to decide. And by the way, this is on the way to Thanksgiving last year. I had 4 days to decide on my way to Thanksgiving. So I went to all the important people in my life and said, hey, this is an opportunity of a lifetime. I've always wanted to do this. And it goes back to my original 1985 river trip that I took on Western Rivers expeditions. I dreamed of the day I would go end to end from Lee's Ferry to Pierce Ferry.
Oh my God.
And then this is combined with something that I've gotten into here heavily lately with canyoneering and some friends who do canyoneering. And I'm like, gosh, this is the opportune moment. So that's the quick story is I had to decide quickly. I had to get permission, decide quickly. Once I got into it, I constantly had, oh my gosh, 28 days. I started to think about, I'm going to have a satellite and internet, and I can't be disconnected from the world that long. And interestingly enough, I settled down and I found that the tool that made it all possible was the Garmin InReach, because it still allowed me to text. Anyway, from there, I basically had to decide and take care of, I had to delegate my responsibilities. I had to, think about my wife. And anytime you take on something this big, you always go at it with a lot of confidence. And then you get into it and you find out the realities of what it means. And there's this compression in time that goes on. So as you get prepared to come to the Grand Canyon, there's all the things you think you need to do. There's all the things that you actually do. And then you get to the Grand Canyon and you find out how well your preparation is going to work out for you. And, and that's when it snows and that's when other fun stuff happens. But you also catch some views that are incredible. I mean, seeing the Grand Canyon after a snowstorm. And interestingly enough, when we were at the bottom, I got one of the most unique views that I've ever had of the snow being 2,000 feet down the canyon rim.
Oh, wow.
I've never seen that from the bottom.
I know, like when I'm preparing, like going on a hike, and when you're going down the river and you're going on a road trip, a lot of people don't prepare.
Yeah, well, and what you're getting into, and you're keying up one of the two biggest reasons I felt confident was I had already done the 39 days in northern Alaska.
Right.
The other thing that gives me confidence, I've done a lot of hiking and canyoneering in the Grand Canyon. And the number one thing I will tell you is when you're not prepared, you learn the hardest lessons and you over prepare the next time for the thing that you learned. Quick story. We went to hike down the South Bass Trail. We were going to go down to Royal Arch. Well, we camped on the rim and it was 25 degrees that night. And I had brought a lighter weight sleeping bag. So I literally laid on the rim shivering all night. Then we're going on this hike the next morning. What kind of sleeping bag do you think I took on this 28-day rapid?
You took one below zero, I bet.
You got it. And so I was well prepared for this. Plus I brought a liner just in case. And so I hate to say it this way, but if you don't prepare well, the hard experiences will teach you whether you're prepared or not.
Truly.
And I can relate to that, Carlin, because the Grand Canyon changes in the moment. Yesterday, when I was out there and I was guiding and stuff, I was in a blizzard. The sun popped out, got warm. It changes in seconds, and that's why I think it's so valuable for people to understand to get prepared. Don't you, Miranda?
Well, yeah, I like to say that Arizona likes to have 4 seasons in one day. And also with Arizona, northern Arizona specifically, is April winds brings the Mayflowers in. It gets really windy out here. And not only that is the unexpected snowstorms. And I think people get confused and think Arizona, desert, it's not gonna be cold. And then you come visit and there's snow, there's 2 feet of snow, and you're just like, what? I did not expect this, and I'm in my sandals and my shorts. So I'm sure the gift shop makes a good penny with the sweaters and its pants because of that. And yeah, that's where I think it's so important to have awareness that northern Arizona is diverse, and the Grand Canyon is essentially an upside down mountain. So when you're going into the Grand Canyon, be prepared to change into different ecosystems.
And that's kind of what our goal is, right, guys? Is kind of educate people about before they come to the Grand Canyon. Because a lot of times, I can't tell you how many people that I've had on our tour that are in shorts, sandals. I'm looking at them. Hey, I got some duct tape. I can wrap you up here because you're going to be super cold. And so it's real important that that's our mission, isn't it, as professional guides, to educate people on what to do before they're going to the Grand Canyon. And Carlin, as you're sharing this story with us, because that's part of what we're doing today, is sharing the 28 days, but we want to go further in that. Like when you're hiking, you're doing your road trips, we want to show you the surrounding areas, because a lot of times people are not prepared. Sometimes they come up here, hey, where's the skywalk? Well, here, you didn't look at our digital visitors guide. I can tell you where the skywalk is. So go ahead, Carlin, give me a little bit more of that story there.
Well, what I wanted to also share, and by the way, the link is down there where you can get the pocket guide from us here at the Grand Canyon Chamber at Grand Canyon Travel Weekly. And who's visiting us there?
Yeah, you say
oh,
hello.
Sorry. That's Spirit. And
Spirit,
he's
that's
getting
right.
some love in here.
Spirit just loves
All right,
my
Spirit.
So Spirit of the Canyon is with us today. We've been talking about winter and how the temperatures can change, but also summer. And some of my hard experiences have been in the summer. And, so absolutely, we want people to be prepared. But let's jump back to my 28-day adventure real quick.
Yes, for sure.
I got physically, mentally, and I also had to get spiritually prepared. The Grand Canyon for me is very, very meaningful. And I've had the opportunity to do 4 of the commercial trips through the Grand Canyon.
Wow.
And so with the previous trips and with all of the hiking I've done in the side canyons and some of the hard experiences and some of the great experiences, I knew I was literally going to be walking through memories of a lifetime. And that got me very, very excited. And so as I'm going past Badger Canyon and I'm going past Jackass, and as we're going through Soap Creek.
Wait a minute. You said Jackass?
Yep, Jackass Canyon is
what
one of
the heck is Jackass Canyon? I've never heard of that.
Let me guess, it was a pain in the butt to climb.
Well, it could be, but it's right where the Badger Rapid is. You've got Badger Canyon on one side and Jackass Canyon on the other.
Oh my God.
And that's one of my childhood canyons. I used to hike down a lot.
Wow, that is so.
And so I'm stepping back into these memories. And what Grand Canyon represents to me is it challenges me and it renews me. And so I the first day I'm like, okay, these are all the fun places I went as a kid. And the memories start coming back. I mean, literally, I've pack rafted across right there from Jackass to Badger just over a year ago. And then Soap Creek and the memories of coming down to Soap. And last March, I was down in Ryder Canyon. Well, where's Ryder Canyon? It's right where the House Rock Valley Rapid is, which is the first big rapid in Grand Canyon. And I love the big sand dune there that you camp on. So I'm going past all these places I love down to North Canyon, which is hard to reach from the rim. And so North Canyon's where we spent the first night, and on the previous raft trips, only one of them have I been able to spend the night there. But it has the really unique features of the sandstone that curls in this canyon. And we'll be displaying some of those images and video here over the podcast. So that's day one, lots of preparation set up. I mean, wow, tons of preparation set up. But the spiritual part is, hey, I know I'm going home to a friend where I've had a lot of great experiences. and a lot of memories that I get to step through. And as we talk about things that they can do to prepare to come and visit us here at the Grand Canyon.
I totally
Yeah.
agree with you, Carlin, because when I came up here, when you look and you go on the edge of that canyon, it's so spiritual. And I can't, like when you have the fog that comes up and the changing of the colors, and it's so incredible. And I'm so excited that we can start this podcast. What do you think, Miranda? Like sharing
Yeah.
our experiences, but our whole goal, honestly, you guys that are watching this, is to educate you, to make sure that you're prepared and you can have that mental and spiritual experience that we have excited about. We go out there every day. It's our backyard, and it brings such a pleasure to us every day, and we're smiling. That's why,
Well, the question I always get is, don't you get tired of looking at this? And I'm like,
what?
no. And I was born and raised out here, and I saw the Grand Canyon from, since this big all the way up. And every time I go, I see something new. And I say that the Grand Canyon has taught me a lot of life lessons in this life. And when you just absorb and observe nature, you just get this innate wisdom inside of you, and you learn so much. And I think what I've learned overall with the Grand Canyon is things take time, and nothing happens in a second like that. The storm can come in and be destructive and change and cause erosion, but ultimately, the big picture, it takes time.
Absolutely. Some people would tell you 1.8 million years to get down to the Vishnu schist at the bottom.
Yeah, exactly.
It takes
Exactly.
a lot of time.
Lots of history in those layers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the other thing is like kids, because I feel like that there's a serious problem out there right now, and I really want to open this part is sharing with kids that their nature is really important for them. Because I'm a survival instructor, I've done team building and stuff like that, and I felt like, when I take kids out and I show them nature with the pine cones, and there's pine nuts in there, smelling the sages, and sharing that with them, it's so cool because their mind opens up, and they start wanting to be really involved in it. And I think that's what we're missing, and I'm hoping this podcast can open that up to them too, open up to the kids and the families.
And that's great. We've all spent a lot of time here at the Grand Canyon. We want to make sure that we share all of our passion. But just real quickly, where do you want people to go to find out more and get prepared here at Grand Canyon Travel News Weekly?
Take it over, Miranda.
You can actually go onto our website here below at the Grand Canyon Chamber, which is grandcanyoncbb.org, and it's the digital visitors guide is what you're looking for, and that will break down all of northern Arizona for you of what we have to offer out here. Not only is the Grand Canyon here, we have Page, we have Flagstaff, we have Williams, we have Valley. We have such a diverse ecosystem. I mean, when you come to Arizona, that is what makes Arizona so spectacular, is you'll drive an hour and you'll be in a completely different ecosystem, which I love so much because I got to live in the East Coast for a second, and I enjoy the water, the greenness, but it was all green. And then I'd be like, I'm missing my sunshine and my diversity, because that is what makes Arizona so appealing. And you ask anybody, that is typically what they say. I love that I can go to the mountains, I can go to the desert, I can go to a lake, and that's what Arizona has to offer. And in this digital visitor guide, it walks you through it, and we essentially give you all the different places that you can lodge, that you can eat, different hiking points, and we here are professional local guides who have been in the area and who want to support the area and make sure that all the information is being shared. And that's what this digital visitor guide is. It's all condensed in one spot.
And I'm going to give you a little bonus. We're going to hook you up, because if you go to our Passport to Savings, you get discounts to the best businesses in our surrounding area. And on top of it, Carlin, guess what?
What's that?
Every month, if you go into our sweepstakes, you can win a vacation to the Grand Canyon, to the northern Arizona, and we're so excited. Please support us on this podcast, guys. We're looking forward. Carlin, what's your last word?
We've
Okay.
got it all for you here at Grand Canyon Travel News Weekly with the Grand Canyon Chamber. And we hope that you will plan your vacation and come visit us all here at the Grand Canyon.